Hi, this is Rob from California, and 2 weeks ago I picked up my Tesla Model 3. I've been wanting a Model 3 for a lot of years now, and they finally came down in price, so I decided to pull the trigger about 3 weeks ago. So 3 weeks ago I actually went online and made an appointment with Tesla to do a test drive. So I set up the test drive for Sunday, a week later, in the afternoon. That Sunday actually happened to be Easter Sunday. I didn't realize at the time, I'd forgotten that Easter was that Sunday. Anyway, I set up the appointment because they had time available, and later that week on Wednesday, they called me and said, oh, we didn't realize it, we didn't take it off our calendar, but we're closed Sunday because of Easter. So I said, okay, well, I'm busy kind of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so for me to test drive one, I needed to go in that Wednesday night. So I set up an appointment at 5 o'clock that Wednesday, and I headed down over to Tesla. There's a Tesla store about 40 miles away, so I left work a little bit early, made an appointment for 5 o'clock, got in there because they close at 6, got in there right at 5, and got checked in and was waiting to do the test drive. So I waited about 15-20 minutes. They had several models in the showroom. They had a Model 3, they had the Model S, Model X, so I was kind of looking at those models as well, but really checking out the Model 3 because that's the one I was going to get. So I waited about 30 to 40 minutes before anybody could give me a test drive, even though I had an appointment. I think one of the guys who was scheduled to do my appointment was actually selling a Model S to someone, a $100,000 car, so I'm sure that took priority. Anyway, they finally got to me, and one of the guys who had just come off a test drive, they finished up with a customer, then was available, and they took me on a test drive. The test drive was nice because you go to some car companies and they take you on a test drive, and it's, maybe 5-10 minutes around the block. These guys took me out on probably 10-15 mile drive where we drove on back roads in town and even on the freeway, so we could show different features. So I thought that was really nice, and I was really impressed with the pickup of the car. It's got a lot of pep to it, so I really enjoyed that. It's got a lot of zip. The one thing though that was really interesting was the regenerative braking. I know people have talked about the regenerative braking, but boy, until you actually experience it, it's definitely a different feel because you're so used to driving a regular car and taking your foot off the gas pedal all the way and you just coast. But this one, it actually slows you down quite a bit because it's generating power, which is a good thing. And you can adjust that too in the car. So anyway, I did the test drive and said, okay, thank you. And I was going to continue to, look at exactly what I wanted to get and also get the financing. So the next day I got the financing, and on Friday I actually got the check from the bank so I could purchase the Model 3. So I called on Friday and asked them, about what they had in stock. And I was looking for the blue and with the aero wheels because I didn't necessarily want to pay for the upgraded wheel rims like I have right here. And so they basically said, well, we're sold out of the blue with the aero rims. You'd have to wait a few weeks. I was also kind of looking at the white interior. I got the black interior, but I was kind of going back and forth on should I get white or black. Anyway, I kind of decided on the black because the white, I was afraid it was going to show too many scuff marks, and I didn't want to have that visibility because it's so white. Even though it looks nice, I think it would show off a lot of the scuffs, the scrapes of people getting in and out of the car, moving stuff around. So I was kind of undecided when I called and what I wanted to get, if I wanted to get black or white. So when I didn't have the one I wanted in stock, I kind of said, well, I'll call you back, and kind of hung up. So then about 15 minutes later, a salesperson called me back and said, yeah, I heard you had some questions about the Model 3. And I said, yeah, I want to buy one, but I'm looking for the blue with the aero wheels and looking for the Standard Plus. And he says, we just sold out of those, but I've got a blue one, Standard Plus with the upgraded rims. I said, yeah, but I don't really want to pay the extra. And he says, you know what, if you pick it up on Monday, by Monday I'll throw the rims in for free. So I was like, okay, well, done deal, because that's a free $1,500 upgrade, and I was ready to buy anyway. And if I don't have to pay any more, then that's a great deal. So I said, okay, let's do it. So he said, another guy's going to call you back in a few minutes and take your order. So about 10-15 minutes later, another guy calls and goes through all the details, takes my deposit with my credit card, and we booked the vehicle. He says he's got the VIN number tied to it, and confirmed that, yeah, they're going to throw in the wheels, comp the wheels, the rims for me, and so I did the deal. So then later on that night, on Friday night, I get the paperwork, and it shows that I'm being charged for the rims. And so I'm like, that's not right. But of course they're closed by then, so I can't call them. So I said I'll call them the next day. So the next day on Saturday, I actually get a text saying that I'm set up for an appointment to pick up the vehicle on Wednesday, and I was supposed to pick it up Monday. So I thought, well, that's kind of weird. They set up an appointment for Wednesday at 11 a.m. And I'm like, I wouldn't even leave work to be able to go at that time anyway. So I thought that was kind of strange. So I called them on Saturday and said, I got the paperwork and it shows that you guys are charging me for these rims, and they said they were going to comp them for me. They said, oh yeah, they got the note in here, no problem, they're going to comp the rims, so they'll take that off, don't worry. And I said, well, also the appointment says it's set up for Wednesday, and they said I need to pick it up Monday, so I'm ready to pick it up Monday. They said, okay, Monday at noon or 11. I said, no, at 5 after I get off work and can head over. So they said, okay, we'll do that, we'll take care of that. So she confirmed they set that all up, and the rims were going to be thrown in, even though the paperwork still said I was being charged for them. So then I go in Monday at 5 o'clock. I'm there to pick up my car, check in hand, ready to go. I'm excited, picking up my Tesla I've been wanting for a couple of years. And I tell them, on the paperwork it shows I'm being charged for the rims, but they said we're going to comp them. And the guys kind of run the back. They're gone for about 15-20 minutes. And then they come out again. They say, what's going on with the rims? And I said, well, they said they were going to comp them, and all that's part of the deal. And they said they went back again, and another 10-15 minutes, come back, and the delivery manager and the assistant manager came back out and said, you know what, we tried everything, we talked like 3 levels higher, and they said with this trim model we can't comp the rims, we have to charge you the $1,500 for them. So obviously I was pretty upset about that, because I'm expecting to pay one price, and going by the salesperson's word. And they said, yeah, they should never promise that. They said they put it in the system to request it, but it never got approved. They said for this trim model they won't approve it. And so they basically said, if you want the car, you've got to buy them. But they also said that they understand that that was pretty poor on their part, and not a good experience for me. And so they said, well, what can we throw in for you to kind of offset the price of the rims if you want to take the car today? Because they did say you could also cancel your order too. But obviously I'm excited, I'm ready to get the car, and I like these rims better anyway. I was just going to pull off the Aero covers and have the black rims exposed. But they said, well, we can throw in mats, because it doesn't come with mats. They said they can throw in a charger, which is like $500. They said they could also throw in the 2-year and 4-year maintenance for the cars, which are $500 and $800 respectively. And they threw in a tire repair kit, as well as the frunk mat, and it's about $2,000 worth of stuff for free. So I said, all right, I wasn't super happy about it, because I wasn't expecting to pay the extra $1,500, but I said, if you're going to throw in all those things, and they gave me the list of all the different maintenance stuff that they'll do with the 2 and 4 years, so I don't have to basically pay for any maintenance for the 4 years, plus the warranty's really good on it as well. So I decided to go ahead and do it, and I got the upgraded rims, paid the extra, but I got some free stuff with it. At the end of the day, it was kind of a sour experience at first, because of the rims. They tell you, a salesperson tells you one thing, but then when you get there, then it's something else. Again, until you have it in writing, it's not real. That's why I kept checking the paperwork. But they did finally, give me some free stuff, which kind of made up for it. And so at the end, it was a good experience, buying it. The paperwork was easy once we finally got it settled down, because like I said, we kind of get going back and forth. But once we got it all straightened out, actually just signing the paperwork, it was, 7 pages or so of paperwork just to go through and just sign a few lines and give them a check, and that was it. They basically had the car ready to go, and I was able to drive home with the vehicle. They charged it up for me and took off. So even though I had kind of a sour experience at some points of the process, it did end up being overall good, and it is pretty quick. So once they have everything ready, all the paperwork's done, you kind of do your prep stuff. It makes it really easy to go in and get the car and walk out. So that was my experience. Again, I am looking for people to use my referral code if they don't have a friend or family's referral code to use. My referral code is Robert49290. That's Robert49290. So if you want to get some free miles with your Tesla, and also gives me some free miles, we both benefit from it, please use my referral code. And that's what I have for today. I think I'll do another video talking about some of the mileage. So now that I've driven it for a couple of weeks, I've kind of seen the usage of the miles of what it says versus actual in the city, on the highway, in hilly areas. So I think I'll do a video talking about that as well coming up. Thank you all. Have a great day.